Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Week in Review with Aortic Hope. I am Molly, and I wanted to say hello right off the bat to Velda and Christina. Thanks for being here with me and keeping me company as we review the fun that we had this past week in our blog on aortichope.com, .org, excuse me. And yeah, we have just a quick week to go over here. And I'm just going to get started. But you know what? I do want to talk about something. I woke up this morning to a major earthquake here in San Diego, and I don't know what it is. It's saying 5.1, 6.7. I'm not sure, but it was vicious. It was violent. It vibrated the floor, and then it was this vicious, violent moving back and forth, and it was so scary because I'm on a fourth floor here, and it was like, oh gosh. So anyway, and there's since been about 9 or 10 more all morning long. So, and they're quite close. I mean, they're within 40 miles of here. But anyway, so if anything, if you see me shaking and rocking and rolling, you know what's going on. Anyway, let's get started. Well, first, thanks for joining. And I'm sitting in for Karen today, and I'm real happy to be here. Be sure, though, when you're looking at YouTube to hit the like button and the share button and that little bell that gives you notifications for any time Aortic Hope goes live on YouTube TV. So let's get started. Here we are. This is our Movement for Movement Monday, and our contributor here is Joyce, and she does such a fabulous job. And I really like this article, Small Movements, Big Impact. And they do add up. Small movements add up. So good news, you don't need to deadlift your couch to be active. In fact, the small things, stretching while waiting for coffee, rolling your ankles at your desk, or standing up and reaching toward the ceiling can all have a huge impact over time. Think of it as a sneaky exercise. Your body doesn't always need a sweat session. It just needs movement. And simple intentional movements throughout the day can help improve circulation, flexibility, and even boost energy levels. If you're not sure where to start, just try rolling your shoulders while sitting, taking a deep breath and stretching your arms, standing up and doing quick leg shakeout, like shake and walking an extra lap while running errands. All those things, parking far away from the entrance to a shopping center or taking the stairs instead of the elevator, things like that. It doesn't take much, she says, but it does make a difference. And the key is to be intentional. Mix things up, listen to your body, and keep that movement a part of your day in any way you can. We'd love to hear from you. Visit us on social media and tell us about a small movement you're adding to your routine, whether it's practical stretch or something creative like enthusiastic head nodding in meetings. We'd love to see how you're keeping your body engaged. As always, listen to your body and check with your doctor before starting any new exercises. Join the movement. Use hashtag movement for movement to connect with others, finding ways to move every day. And we just love Joyce. She's really good getting us moving and uh, keeping ourselves healthy through exercise. And she has some really great fun ideas. And she is also one of our social media volunteers. And this month actually is International Volunteer Month. And we are honoring and recognizing all of Aortic Hope's volunteers. And she is one of them. She's awesome. We really love having her here. And here we have a medical student, Purab Kothari, and he is a medical student that contributes on the medical side of social media, and he's also a volunteer, and he does contribute here right now to this Topic Tuesday. And let's just get into this one. This is about beta blockers, and he says it's a class of medicines that have many different uses, especially in the management of heart health. And what are beta blockers? They do exactly what they say. They block the beta receptors in our bodies. And our sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for our fight or flight response, it functions through a series of interactions between chemicals and receptors of those chemicals. Beta receptors are one class of receptors that are part of this complex system. And the chemicals that bind to these receptors include epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine, which our bodies naturally produce. The beta receptors are responsible for increasing our heart rate, making our hearts pump harder, and much more. The beta blockers will counteract this action of these receptors, which helps slow our heart rate and decrease the pumping force. And we often use these medications to reduce blood pressure and decrease the oxygen requirements of the heart by decreasing its workload. So it basically slows everything way down. Beta blockers and aortic disease. Because beta blockers reduce blood pressure, they often are used in patients with aortic dissection to prevent the dissection from extending further. In patients with aortic aneurysms, beta blockers may be prescribed to keep the blood pressure at a safer level and prevent aneurysm enlargement, dissection, or rupture. And in patients with coronary artery disease, beta blockers are often used to decrease the amount of energy that the heart uses. And because the coronary artery disease limits the amount of blood and oxygen that reaches the heart muscle, beta blockers help correct the mismatch between the heart's energy supply and demand, which prevents some symptoms. So they kind of do a lot of things here. Beta blockers play a crucial role in the management of chronic heart failure, which is a condition where the heart cannot pump enough blood to meet the body's needs. And oftentimes, the heart becomes a victim to a vicious cycle of remodeling that further worsens its function. Studies have shown that in these patients, beta blockers are cardioprotective. They improve survival rates, reduce hospitalizations, and enhance the quality of life. And it looks like he's getting a lot of this information from the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, which there's a link if you'd like to further your reading. The potential side effects are like any medication, beta blockers may have some side effects, and they include lightheadedness, especially when sitting up or standing up quickly, fatigue, cold hands and feet, weight gain, mood changes. Many of these side effects are due to the decreased blood pressure itself. However, beta blockers are generally very safe and are prescribed very often. For patients with asthma, some of these beta blockers may worsen episodes of wheezing. They may also mask symptoms of low blood sugar in patients with diabetes, which can be dangerous. In those with acute heart failure, beta blockers can actually worsen the function of the heart and cause shock. Well, because of these reasons, doctors may decide not to prescribe beta blockers in certain patients. All right, some considerations to take in while taking beta blockers. You must consistently take them. You can't just take them on occasion. So that's crucial. Skipping doses or quickly stopping them can cause the opposite effect, such as an increased heart rate or blood pressure. And it's also very important to have regular checkups with your doctor so that they can make sure your heart rate and blood pressure are within the right range while using these beta blockers. And it is safe to work out on beta blockers. Just ask your doctor if there are any special considerations or modifications you should make before beginning any new exercise routines. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle, as Joyce just mentioned before, with regular exercise, balanced diet, stress management are also very important. And thanks again, Parab. She says that's it for Topic Tuesdays. Stay tuned for next week. That's a really good article. You know, a lot of times people take these medications and have no idea, how they function, what they do, what they can do, and the benefits of them. So these medical students that contribute these articles it's just awesome. It's so great. It's so much to learn. Well, we're just moving right on. Therapeutic Thursday, we have John Quick, who is also a therapist and also an aortic dissection survivor of 18 years ago. And he has stepped in on our Therapeutic Thursdays and has a one-on-one platform with someone who is interested in talking to him. And it's a really good show. It's a really good show. If you haven't checked it out, check it out this Thursday. Um, I'm not sure who the guest is. I know last week it was Aortic Chef Rob. I was there a week or two before that. Diane Bishop, the artist, was there, and Karen has done a show. So it's really, if you haven't tuned in, go back and look at some of these old episodes, or tune in on Thursday. He's really awesome to listen to. Really learn a lot, and the fact that he was a dissection survivor himself, he really understands some of the things that we all go through with this disease. So yeah, John Quick on Thursdays. I'm moving on to Friday. Here we have Nikki. Oh, is that Karen? Yeah, Nikki. She also is a social media volunteer and she contributes. And here she's talking about the John Ritter Research Program for Genetic Testing. And if you haven't checked this out, it's I've done it. It's just you just submit your um, genetic testing to them, and yeah, check it out. I'm going to read this real quick and see if you're interested, and you can go in and sign up. But it's for the greater good, I think, of everyone with aortic disease. Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with thoracic aortic aneurysm or dissection? And if you have or have loved or your loved one has, the John Ritter Research Program would love for you to take part in a research study. Doctors and scientists have only identified about 20% of the genes that cause aortic aneurysms and acute aortic dissections that are inherited in families. So, furthermore, studies are just beginning to look at the role of genetics in patients who have had an aortic dissection but don't have a family history. And these research studies aim to learn more about the genes that cause people to have aortic aneurysms and acute aortic dissections. Further identification of these genes that cause people to have these conditions will increase our ability to identify who is at risk and provide information on how to better diagnose and manage aortic vascular diseases. To learn more, please contact the genetic counselor by emailing this link right here. And for more information, you can also find it on the Aortic Hope website, aortichope.org. So check that out if you haven't. It's really good. Here's a great resource that we have. It's a glossary of aortic disease, and it's found under the resources tab on the Aortic Hope website. And it's really great. There's just so much terminology, and you learn some of these things that apply to you, and your doctor's just going to be like really happy that you're learning, about your situation and can communicate with him on a level that, he's probably going to be pretty impressed with you for. So here we go. We've got, all the aneurysms. We have um, aortic arch repair, open heart surgery to replace an enlarged portion of the aortic arch using an artificial fabric tube graft that has branches coming out of it. So that's one. Oh gosh, we've got so many, and we're always adding more. We have medial degeneration. It's a common precursor of aortic dissection and aneurysms. And due to the breakdown of elastic fibers and loss of smooth muscle cells in the aortic wall. Now let's find another good one. Well, transection of the aorta. This is when patients have been in a motor vehicle accident and the aorta is injured. This produces a full thickness tear of the aortic wall, which may lead to a contained rupture. It's a form of a aortic dissection. So there's a new one, transection of the aorta due to catastrophic injury. Yeah.
You somehow muted yourself. Oh, find your mic. There you
There it
are.
is. It just keeps going away. Um, yeah, so we have our events page on the Aortic Hope website. Again, under events, we'll give you all of our upcoming, plans for the week, plans for the month, actually. And tomorrow, the 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Dr. Pedro Catarino, and he is lovely. And it's a live Q&A. So you could submit your questions, and he will get to them and answer them, and Karen will be moderating that. Anyway, check that out. If you haven't been to any of our live Q&As with these doctors and surgeons, check it out. Good stuff. Wednesday, we have Diane Bishop, our aortic artist, bringing to you some of her fun crafts, and she's really great. She's really fun. She has some really cool ideas. The 17th, Aortic Kitchen with Chef Rob, and he is going to be celebrating National Garlic Month. So if you like garlic, definitely check this out. He has a lot of great ideas. He and his wife, Mindy, she's a dietitian and contributes some nutritional information. They're a great team, and it's really fun to watch. So check that out Thursday. Also, as I mentioned before, John Quick will be there Therapeutic Thursday at noontime. And then obviously, yeah, we always have Sunday Qigong, and that's awesome too. Check that out at 12:30 p.m. on Sundays. And that's it for this week. Yeah. Anyone else show up that we can say hi to?
Nobody else has said hi so far, but Velda says that it must have been scary.
Oh, yeah, it was, because I've been in earthquakes before, but not in this where I'm living now, and it was pretty violent. Like it was, and just being so high up, it's like, oh no, should I run out? Should I run down? What do I do? I stayed put, but yeah, it was a little disconcerting. And as the morning has gone on, I have an orchid, and it's been shaking, and my fig tree is shaking, and the curtains are kind of moving. So I think after I wrap it up here, I might just leave for a while and go to a park or go to the beach or something, somewhere with wide open spaces. But yeah, it was a little, and there's been about 10 or 12 of them already. And so there's a lot of activity. So you just don't know. It's not fun, but
How often do you have lots of activity?
not that often. I mean, there's little imperceptible ones, little ones that you can't feel, that happen probably all the time. But the bigger ones are so few and far between, really. I would say, I don't even know, a couple a year maybe. So yeah. I mean, I was in when Fukushima and the tsunami in Japan on March 13th, quite a while ago. I actually flew to Japan, Tokyo, after that, and multiple times over the weeks I'd go back and forth, and that building shook, that hotel shook all day and night long. It just was aftershock after aftershock, and it was just so much. It was scary, but anyway, yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Velda. Hey, Velda. I'm coming to see you sometime up there in Prince Edward Island. Well, anything else? What else can we chat about? Anything else? Or should we just wrap it up and let these nice
Well, how about we let you
people
get out of that building in case things go a little crazy, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, very good. Thanks for showing up, girls and Joshua. It's nice to talk to you guys, and we'll see you next week.
I missed the click.